Hi guys, welcome back to Siphango's channel. I'm Esona Siphango, a first year medical student at the University of Pretoria. I come from a small town in the Eastern Cape called Matric, where I did my high school and where my dreams of being a doctor died. So a little background check. I did my primary school in Kokstad, grade 1 to grade 5, and then I moved to Joburg. Excuse me. Then I moved to Joburg for grade 6 and grade 7. And I did good in primary. Like, my marks were very good in primary. I was always in the top 3, top 5 in a bad term, but I was always in the top 3. Then I got to grade 8 and everything just changed. Everything changed drastically. Grade 8 was the very first time I saw level 3 in my report, and it was for maths and Afrikaans, I think. First term, and then second term it just got worse. I think SS was also there. Creative arts was also level 3 if I'm not mistaken, but things were just taking a turn for the worst in grade 8. I wasn't doing good. I really wasn't doing good. Grade 9, I think I sort of like tried doing good. I tried doing good, I think. I'm not sure. But we tried. But I think my grade 9 was better than my grade 8 in high school. If I'm not, yeah, it was better than my grade 8. My grade 9 was better than my grade 8 in high school. And I remember even in grade 9, we were sitting in our creative arts, if not social sciences, and a friend of mine was asking us what we wanted to do, you know. She was just asking what you guys want to do, and we were all just talking about what we wanted to do and stuff like that. And I remember I said I wanted to be a neurosurgeon because my aunt had just started a neurosurgery journey, and I was super inspired and super motivated, you know. I want to be a neurosurgeon, you know. And we got to grade 10 and maths and physics. So in grade 10 I did maths, physics, geo, life sciences, and then the 2 languages I did English as my home language, Afrikaans as my first additional, and LO. Got to grade 10. Yeah, grade 10 just also happened. Grade 10 was also grade 10ing, and maths and physics were proving to be the maths and physics everyone spoke about, and they were hard in a sense. Well, they were hard for me, and I wasn't doing good, you know. And also grade 10 is when I started being, I want to say, a teenager, you know. Started drinking, started smoking, started not really caring about school, you know. I'd get a 50% and I'd be super excited, but I got a 50%. I'd get a 55% or a 60%, and I think that's a distinction, you know. My marks were not good. My marks are not good. And I think grade 10 was the very first time I saw a level 2 in my report. No, it wasn't, it was a level 1. It was a 28%, and it was for maths. And those that know Mr. Thomas from King Edward, well, at least from my class, will know how hard his maths was. And I know it's the same maths, but you'll know how hard Mr. Thomas's maths was. And it was a bunch of us who got a level 1 for maths that term, and I think it was second term. So I wasn't doing good in grade 10 either, you know. It's not like I'm about to say grade 10 got better or anything like that. No, grade 10 got worse. And I think grade 10, my dreams had sort of like changed now. Grade 10, I wanted to be a civil engineer. You know, I was like, you know what? Civil engineers get paid, I think. Well, the internet said civil engineers get paid a lot of money. So I was like, I want to be a civil engineer because it gets paid. And no, I wasn't doing it for the money. Okay, maybe I was, but I wasn't really doing it for the money. I was doing it for the next best thing in my life, you know, something that's going to be an achievement, if I may say so. Or at least I'd like to think. Anyways, moving on to grade 11. Grade 11 got worse. Grade 11 got way worse. I was I found out in grade 11 that you needed 30% to pass maths, and I think that was the worst thing that ever happened to me. That was the worst thing to happen to me, because now I was like, I'm not even pushing for that 40% that I used to push for. I'm now just pushing for 30% so that I can pass, you know? And okay, physics was not that bad, because at least with physics you had the chemistry side and you sort of like had the theory part of chemistry and stuff like, and physics as well. So I was sort of not that bad when it came to physics, and geo life sciences were in the level 4, level 5, there and there. But my average grade 11 would range between 55 and 63. Yeah, so grade 11 was also not a very good year. It was a very traumatizing year, if I may say. It was traumatizing academically, because socially it was a very good year. Like I lived my life in grade 11. I was probably intoxicated on every other Wednesday. And looking back at it now, I know, but it was a very huge mistake that I did that. It was a me thing. It was a me thing. It wasn't anyone was forcing me, or anyone was sort of like coercing me into doing anything. It was a me thing. It was me choosing being happy, if I may say. It was me choosing my happiness over academics, because academics just brought so much strain. And academics were hard, bruhs. They were hard, and they still are, but they were harder back then, and yeah. I remember even when I think we were going to write our maths paper 2 finals, and we were given a 5-minute break, and I was sitting outside the toilets and sort of having a breakdown, if I may say, because I remember I was crying, and a friend of mine all the way came by, and she was like, "Hi, bruv, what's up?" And I remember just thinking to myself, I don't know a single thing I'm going to write on that paper. That's how unprepared I was for maths. That's how I really don't know what's going on in maths. I don't know what I'm going to write in that exam. And I wrote nonetheless. I wrote, and I was certain that I was going to repeat grade 11 that year. Like I was truly certain that I was going to repeat grade 11 that year. And till this day, I really don't know how I made it past grade 11, but we made it past grade 11, and we got to grade 12. Grade 12 was my best year in high school. Like, it was my best academic year in high school. I think it was my best year in high school. Application season came by, and I remember at this stage, all I wanted to do was civil engineering, because it was the next best thing that I could think of, and that my marks would I could try and pull my marks up to try and get into civil engineering, So when applications opened, I remember I was talking to my sister, and because I didn't really know what I wanted to do as a second choice, I was talking to my sister, and I was telling her about, okay, you know what, I know I'm going to put civil engineering as my first option, but what do I put as my second option? And then she's like, "Hey, bruv, last I checked, you wanted to be a doctor, and now you're telling me things about civil engineering. What happened to medicine?" And I was like, "You've seen my marks, and there's no ways that I'm getting into medicine with these marks, and there's nothing I can do about it now. It's kind of too late for that, because they take your grade 11 marks. Most of these universities want your grade 11 marks, and my grade 11 marks were mostly level 2s, like 30%. It was 30% for maths, 30 something percent for physics. It was a 40 something percent for life sciences, 40 something for geo. It was a 60 something for LO, 60 something for English, 50 something for Afrikaans. Don't remember the specifics, but I remember in a sense what my marks looked like. So there was no ways I was getting into med school with those marks, And my sister was like, "Okay, you know what? Let's look into pharmacy. How do you feel about pharmacy? Like, what do you think about pharmacy? Why can't you do pharmacy if you can't get into medicine?" that's when I had a whole oh, okay, you know what? There's still pharmacy. I don't think I want to do civil engineering anymore. I want to be a pharmacist now, you know, because it's still at least in the health science faculty, and I'd still be getting to interact with people and sort of like, you know, help people in that regard, you know. And now I was in love with pharmacy. I wanted to do pharmacy. Everything I thought was pharmacy. It was pharmacy, 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 you know. And I tried. I put pharmacy. I applied. Sorry, I put pharmacy as my first option in most of the universities that had pharmacy. In all of the universities that had pharmacy, and then I put. I think it was civil engineering in some. In some, I put LLB. In some, I put become law. There was the psychology I put in others. There was BSc I put in others. So, in a nutshell, pharmacy was the first choice, and then it was just a mix masala for the second option in all of the universities, and then in the ones that had a third, I'd just find something else to put as the third option, you know. So I didn't really know about the BSc route in a sense. I heard about it on Sihle's, I had heard about it on Sihle's channel, but it wasn't something that I think I was well educated on, or something that I wanted to try out at that stage when I was applying, because I wasn't putting BSc as my second option, you know. And I think also because I knew BSc as a bridging course for medicine. Like, I didn't really think it was a bridging course for pharmacy, you know. I didn't think you could like do BSc and then transfer into pharmacy. And then marks started improving. I think the lowest mark I had on my report in grade 12 first term was a 65 or a 62. I think it was a 60 something though. That was the lowest, and the others were like in the early 70s, late 60s. And we pushed again second term. I improved again. We pushed again third term. I improved, and finals came. Finals came, and yeah, no, finals did the most. They did the most. I did good in most of the things. I think I had a 77 for life sciences. I had a 76. No, I had a 75 for geo, a 76 for life sciences, a 69 for English, a 62 for Afrikaans, an 80 something for life orientation though. Then I had a 48 for maths, and I had a 56 for physics. And I was like, yeah, no. You are not going to university this year, my guy. You are, yeah, no. No university is going to accept you for pharmacy with these marks. So it looks like you're going to be doing law, or you're hopefully going to be doing engineering. But I was like, but still with these marks. With these marks, there's no law faculty that's going to consider you. There's no engineering faculty that's going to consider you. So might as well just go beg somewhere and ask them to accept you, or whatever the case might be, you know. And I remember when we went to fetch our what's it called? But it's not the certificate. It's the other thing that's not the certificate. I forgot what it's called right now. But a whole lot of people were just getting these SMSs, these emails of acceptances. I remember so a friend of mine received 2 within a span of like 2 hours. And I remember thinking to myself, the only thing I've received so far is rejection, left, right, and center. And now I'm panicking, but yeah, yeah, it's all slowly sinking in. But you really need to do something about whatever it is that you want to do this year, you know. And I think eventually NMU pulled through and they accepted me for logistics. What's it called? CPUT accepted me for engineering. Walter Sisulu accepted me for psychology. I was on the waiting list in UWC, but I think it was for psychology as well, if I'm not mistaken. If it was for BCom law, but I'm not sure. But those are the universities that I remember that sort of like had something good to say. All the rest were just unfortunately. And roads had not accepted me. Like my status was still pending. So I remember 2 days after the results had came out, I made my way to Rhodes to try and beg them, because they hadn't accepted me for pharmacy. But because my sister was the one who applied for me at Rhodes, she had put BSc as the second choice. So now the option that we were trying to take at this stage was trying to get into BSc at Rhodes and then try and transfer into pharmacy. So I was on my way to Rhodes trying to beg them to accept me for pharmacy first, so that if they say no for pharmacy, they can at least consider me for BSc. Now I know they had already rejected me, but now we were trying to beg. You're trying to go alternative routes. You're trying to, my grandma passed away, your way into getting to pharmacy. You're trying to cry your way into, I was going through mental breakdowns, I was depressed, and you're really just trying everything you can because you want it so bad, in a sense, and you fumbled the bag, but you're now trying to make up for your mistakes. You're really trying to push. You're trying to do everything you possibly can to try and get in. Okay, so I got to Rhodes and I spoke to this lady who was helping us, and I tried begging. I really tried, but unfortunately, again, she couldn't accept me for pharmacy. She was expecting that, but she said she could put me into the BSc program, and I'd have to take chemistry and maths, I think, as my majors, so that I can transfer from pharmacy transfer from BSc into pharmacy. And I was willing to go that route. Like, I was ready to go that route. And I remember calling my uncle after they had updated my status on the portal, and I had to accept it now. So I called my uncle and I was telling him about the situation, that they had given me an offer for BSc, and I was thinking of taking it so that I can transfer from that into pharmacy the following year. And my uncle said, yeah, no, you're not doing that. You are not doing that. Everyone is going to tell you about BSc, but no one is going to tell you how hard BSc is. You are going to go back and you're going to go upgrade and try again next year. At first, I was very skeptical, especially considering that coming from a black family, you're now deciding to redo your matric, in a sense, and they now sort of like feel as if you're wasting time. You're holding yourself back. You're not. Yeah, like they feel as if your age mates are leaving you, in a sense. They feel as if you're wasting your time. Don't do that. Rather take what you have now and then change when you're inside. They feel as if that's a better experience or a better route to go as opposed to upgrading. And I chose upgrading. I chose upgrading nonetheless, and I was upgrading my maths and my physics. So I started around Feb, March, and right when I started March, and I think I'd only attended 2 lectures, two tutor sessions with my tutor at that time, and then COVID hit, and then it was lockdown. So now I had to self-study. Like, he was a very old man, so we couldn't like really do these online Zoom meetings, WhatsApp calls and stuff like that. So I just had to stop that, and I couldn't find anyone else that would like sort of like do those online things and stuff like that. So it was now self-study. It was me, my textbooks, YouTube videos, and there was this online thing that I was signed up to. You can do maths, and it had like a whole bunch of videos, a whole bunch of questions and stuff like that. And it was just me on a daily basis, waking up. Today I'm doing maths the whole day. Tomorrow I'm doing physics the whole day. Maths paper 1, physics paper 1, maths paper 2, physics paper 2, so on and so forth. And then on weekends I would rest. But it was just me pushing on a daily basis. And I was supposed to write the May, June exams, but because of COVID, they were also moved to November. So I had more time now, in a sense. So I was gonna write in November. Yeah. And also I feel the whole upgrading route was very nerve-wracking in a sense, because now you get to come across posts on Twitter of people saying upgrading doesn't work, I upgraded and my marks stayed the same, I upgraded and this happened, so you're hearing all these negative stories and you start doubting, wow, was this, is this going to be worth it? I hope it's worth it. Now you're getting anxious, you're getting nervous, but what if my mark doesn't go up? Or if it does go up, what if it goes up by like 2% or something like that? And now you would have spent a whole year only to improve by 2% or something like that, you see. So that was happening, but I eventually wrote at the end of the year. It went fairly well. My maths improved from a 48 to a 68, and my physics improved from a 56 to a 77. To a 77. And I wasn't really pleased, but I was happy. I was okay with the improvement. I was happy with the improvement. I was happy that there was an improvement, a huge improvement at that, but I was expecting at least both of them to be in the 70s. And maths was close by, but it happened. And I think a mistake that I made, because when I was applying in 2020, backtrack to when I was upgrading, I was applying in 2020, I was applying with my 2019 Matric marks. And in all universities, there's the what are you doing in the current year option, and I chose the upgrading option, but I was upgrading, and most of them rejected me because the marks that I had posted were the 2019 ones, which did not qualify me to get into the. Okay, so now when I was reapplying, let me also just mention, I was reapplying for medicine and pharmacy. Medicine as my first choice, pharmacy as the second. And I know it might seem as if it was a bit far-fetched, but I was like, okay, you know what? People's lucks differ, You don't know what could happen. You don't know. Yeah, just take the chance, And I took the chance. I applied for medicine as my first choice. I applied for pharmacy as my second choice. And I got rejected because my marks were not good, They were the 2019 marks. And at that stage, I was like, okay, you know what? It's probably just because I applied using my first set of results. I'll wait for my second set of results and then I'll send them through and then ask them to reconsider. So when my second set of results came through, the only thing I did was send an email. Like I would email them to all these universities and ask them to reconsider, telling them that I had applied for medicine and pharmacy but got rejected because I was upgrading, and they based their selection, I would like to think, based on my first set of results. And then I sent them my new set of results. And I think the results came out on a Tuesday. And by Friday, I hadn't heard anything from these universities. So I tried calling. But all of them were saying they were already full, And in UFS, they even said I should try and apply again for next year, for the 2022 academic year, because it was last year, 2021. And I didn't understand because I was like, you guys have a whole upgrading option. Like, why would you ask what are you doing in the current year and allow me to choose that I'm upgrading if you're not gonna now wait for my upgraded results to come out before you base your final selection? Like, why is there an upgrading option there? But anyways, eventually, NMU, I think it was the same Friday, after calling all these universities, I saw an SMS from them saying that I had been accepted. Congratulations, I've been accepted for BPharm at NMU. Log into the portal for your updated status or something like that. And I was excited at first, but because I really never saw myself going to NMU. But I was like, you know what, it's pharmacy, and I really wanted to do pharmacy because my medicine dream was sort of like, there but not really there, because my marks were not really getting there, And I was happy. Like, I was really happy. I was very excited. I was looking forward to doing pharmacy. And I got to NMU. I think I really enjoyed pharmacy. Like, I enjoyed the chemistry. I enjoyed everything about it. I think it was after my first test. It was after my first anatomy and physiology test, and I'd gotten a 90%. And I thought to myself, okay, you know what, I've been getting good marks for these quizzes and these small tutorial things that we've been doing, but a 90% for a test. And it got me thinking. It got me thinking about, I'm not sure about what his name is, but there's a guy on Sihle's channel who did pharmacy at Rhodes and then transferred into medicine here at UP. And it got me thinking, what if I could be that guy as well? You know, what if I could also transfer from pharmacy into medicine, you know? And I took that chance. I remember I called my sister and I was like, I'm thinking of doing it again, just for the last time. If I don't get in next year, then I'll just try the GMP route via VITS after the four-year degree that I'm doing right now. And she was supportive then. I called my aunt as well, and she was also like, yeah, no, push, go for it. And applications opened in April, I think, end April or early April. I'm not sure, but they opened around April. And I just started applying, but I didn't put in any transcript because I didn't have any transcript available at that given point. So I was applying with my grade 12 marks at that point. And as soon as my semester marks came out, like as soon as my transcript was available, and I think the lowest mark, my marks were, for the 5 modules that I did, was 79, 80, 81, 82, and 83. And I sent those through to all the universities. I updated my application in all the portals and I sent my marks through. But before I had sent my marks through, Walter Sisulu University had already rejected me, and I didn't understand why. But when I called them, they said that if you are an upgrading student, they don't consider you. And if you've taken more than 2 or 3 years, I think of 2 to 3 gap years, they also don't consider you in that situation. So they didn't consider me because I was upgrading, you know. So they said you had to have sat your matric once. But that was okay. July, I was at home. I got an email from UCT saying, unfortunately, we regret to inform you. I think Stellenbosch as well, I also applied for vibes because there was a thing that I read there that said, what did it say? Snap. It said because of COVID, they can't consider students transferring from other universities. They can only consider students from their universities that are transferring to medicine, which didn't make sense to me, but nonetheless. So also Stellenbosch, I knew, but they were also not going to accept me. When you opened after the June holidays, NMU also rejected me, and NMU was one of my, I really hope I get in, because they say they consider students from, they consider internal students first before they consider external students. So I was really hoping that I could be one of the internal students, but looks like they had other plans. So I didn't get in at NMU. So now I really just give no hope. You know, it was matric all over again. It was rejection all over again. It was who did you think you were thinking you could get into med school, you know? I'd given up. And I remember I was not studying anymore. Like, I didn't have the passion to study. I didn't have the fuel to study anymore. I was just watching lectures to get by. You know, I was like, okay, you know what, if you're not getting into med school, why are you even trying anymore? And I failed my first organic chemistry test because I wasn't studying. I think I got a 28%. And that was the very first time I got 28% in varsity. Okay, I didn't really have varsity experience, but it was the first 28% I had experienced. And it was on a Tuesday. And on the Wednesday, I wrote another test for physical pharmacy, and I also failed that one. I think I got a 36% for that one. So it was just me sort of like going back to my old ways of just, oh, okay, you failed. So what? You know, we're moving on. It's not the end of the world, just, you know. And I think after that, probably like 2-3 weeks, it was early September, late August, Sihle released a video with Miskele, and they were talking about rejection, if I'm not mistaken, about their journey to med school and expectations. But there was a video that they released together, and Umiskela was talking about how when she checked her portal this one day randomly, she saw an accept reject option there and she got excited and stuff like that. And Usihle, I think, also mentioned again that his average had dropped by 4% from his first semester to his second semester, so he was also panicking. So I was just watching that video, and I think a week after that, I was studying again because that video really motivated me, and I really felt as if there was still sort of like, in a sense, hope to still get in. So I checked my portal, and I think it was around 2 a.m. in the morning. I checked my portal on my phone and I zoomed in. And when I zoomed in, it zoomed in on the side closest to the accept, reject, offer option. And I remember seeing that option, and I probably woke up the whole house that day because of excitement. I was super excited, but damn. And then I saw the you have been provisionally accepted, and I was like, my guy, you are going to be a doctor. I don't care if it says provisionally accepted, if it says you are going to be a doctor now. Now you just need to make sure that you pull your socks up and you push, because you have one foot in. You can't let this opportunity slide. You have to give it your all. That's when I was like, okay, you know what? No more slacking off, no more nothing. You are going to push until you get those marks, because you already failed 2 tests and you need to make up for those 2 failed tests, you know. And I pushed, like I really pushed. I tried my best by all means given, and I think my average for second semester was 70, because I think for first semester it was an 81 if I'm not mistaken, 81, 82. So for second semester I think it was a 76, 77, 78. But I know it dropped by 4% if I'm not mistaken. And I used to reference that whole situation to Sihle's situation where he dropped by 4% and he still got in. But I was like, what if his year is different from mine, you know, and I don't get in because I dropped by a whole 4%. But nonetheless, I kept my faith and I sent through my results as soon as they became available. My whole December was not. I didn't enjoy my whole December holiday because I was anxious. I was super anxious. I kept on checking my portal because universities, but the admin part of it closed, I think, around the 20-something of December. So I would check my portal every day, trying to see if they've updated anything, have they said anything, any communication, and there was nothing. January came by. Oh yeah, December, Stellenbosch rejected me as well. So that was also off the list. And now the 2 main ones that I think I remember from that time were UP and SMU. And I was now just sitting thinking, okay, UP has to pull through. UP has to pull through. And if UP doesn't pull through, then I have to go to SMU. And I really hope that SMU pulls through if UP doesn't pull through. And somewhere in Jan, as soon as universities open, I think they open on the 3rd. From the 3rd, the first thing I would do when I woke up would go on my portal and check my status. Go on my portal, check my status every single day. And I think on the 7th or on the 8th, when I logged on, there was, if you know the UP status thingamabob, there's a updated by where the date changes depending on when your status was updated. And when I got to that part, it said updated. It was on the 8th of January, like it was that day's date. And now I'm panicking, thinking, oh shit, this is it. This is the you've been accepted or unfortunately moment, you know? And I scrolled through and I saw the congratulations. I didn't even read what it said after that. All I saw was the congratulations and the excitement on my face, bruv. The excitement. Woke up the whole family. I was super excited. I was all over the place. I was posting on my status, allowed me to reintroduce myself. You know, it was a lot. It was a lot. I was super excited. I was ready. Like I really felt like I was ready for med school. This is what I've been praying for. This is what I've been pushing for. This is what I've been trying so hard to get into, you know. And I eventually got in. And first semester med school has been like everything that everyone has said said it would be like. You have your hard modules, you have your easy modules, you have a lot has been going on, but that is a story for another day. I'm not sure if Sitha is gonna allow this, but also I'm thinking of starting a YouTube channel, Medical School Chronicles, where I unpack first semester, I unpack into further detail the whole upgrading process, I unpack into further detail the whole transferring from one university into the next, how I've been finding the whole transition from pharmacy into medicine, everything. But I'll talk to him, and I hope you guys are also looking forward to that. But yeah, that has been my journey into med school, and I hope you guys enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah, thanks. Bye.